when Stormont was opened, it was 17 designated flag days as a compromise.
Of course it was, and in the days of compromise, lots of people did. And that was a compromise to make sure that people understood that what we were trying to do was we were trying to build a city for all its citizens. And there's nothing wrong with that, but our difficulty now is that Sinn Féin are agitating politically to make sure that good relations and everything else is destroyed. They put good relations back in this city 20 or 30 years.
Some people think the issue is not that Sinn Féin has taken the flag down, it's that Sinn Féin has flourished while loyalist politicians have failed to make breakthroughs at the ballot box, and this issue is being used to make parties like yourself relevant again.
Well, what I will say to you is that the reason why we weren't relevant is because we took a conscious decision that this was country before party, and I will not do anything else other than that. Now, obviously, whenever opportunities arise for anybody, of course, people are going to try to ensure that we give leadership. We're giving leadership. If people feel that they want to vote for us, then they'll do it. If people don't, then we're not asking them to. This is not about votes. This is about people actually catching on to what they need to do. And I'm asking unionist people, particularly in working class areas, use your vote, use it wisely, and make sure that you hold people to account.
Well, you say get on the register, but it's illegal not to be on the register, so I'm presuming that people here are on the register, they're just simply not voting.
Well, irrespective of whether they're on the register or not on the register, there are people who are not on the register.
It is a problem, though. I think this is the Cork and Castle district, and in the last council elections I checked, it was barely 50% of the people who voted.
Well,
why is that?
Well, that's the problem, and the problem is that there's apathy. People feel that politics doesn't work. And people will feel that, there are people in government who shouldn't be there. The reality is, that this is a democratic society and people's entitled to vote who they want. But the difficulty is, I think that the loyalist people now understand that the unionist parties can't defeat Sinn Féin politically, and the only people who can do it is Ulster loyalism. And that's the reality, because, people are not looking at what the Shinners was doing. Why did people not see this coming? I can tell you why they didn't see it coming, because they took their eye off the ball.
Who took their eye off the ball?
Well, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to name people, but you know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the unionist leadership?
Well, what I'm saying is people took their eye off the ball. I'm not going to start to name people. I will allow people to actually interpret whatever I mean by that.
How well served are loyalists by the unionist leaders?
But let's be very clear. The DUP have got the biggest mandate politically, and the DUP represent those people in a political sense because they've got the mandate. But I think what people are saying is that they don't represent their views. Now, what are their views and what is it they want represented? The only way we can find that out is when they actually start telling us and lobbying people. And, so from that point of view, I think we need to be very careful. We cannot deny that the DUP have got a political mandate.
Well, has the DUP lost some of its working class kind of touch? Have they become the big house unionists?
Well, I think that's a question you need to ask Peter Robinson, and he'll give you that answer. What I am telling you is, from my point of view, working in these communities, people are angry, and we do work on the ground, and we'll continue to do that work on the ground.
But what is the solution here? Is it the flag at City Hall every day? Is it more designated days?
Well, I think what Sinn Féin has turned it into is that the flag decision in City Hall needs to be overturned, and for me that means that people need it in the next election. They need to make sure to return more unionists, and the reality is, that other people have been returned because people didn't transfer their votes to my candidates. And if they continue to do that, then they won't have unionists.
But you were in the city council, and you didn't have a problem with designated days.
In 2001, I didn't have a problem with designated days. If you go onto our website, you will see that when I became leader, I changed the policy. And I changed the policy on the basis that Sinn Féin are outside the spirit of the agreement. When Sinn Féin come back into the spirit of the agreement, then we will reconsider our position. But our position was changed. In 2001, this is laying the city council in terms of all of this. And these people actually started to change their councillors and city council. The people who were cozying up in their party till unionists were removed and replaced by hardliners.
It's hard, though, not to draw some conclusion, Billy, that this is also about seizing power back from the Alliance Party. They're making inroads. They're seen as an alternative to unionism. And the DP and the Ulster Unions, and possibly yourselves, are saying that these guys are not hard enough on the union.
Well, I haven't said that, and I'm not going to say it. I mean, the Alliance Party actually have their own party policies, and everybody's clear where they are. They're a party who will actually walk down the middle and try to find compromise now. So I'm not attacking the Alliance Party, and I've made it very clear that the enemy in all of this is Sinn Féin, and people need to wrestle this back from Republicans. It's about Republicans trying to run Belfast, and that needs to be wrestled back. And if that includes the Alliance, it includes them, but I'm not saying it does.
Well, so you think there's too much of an us and them mentality, and it has to be more of a let's work together?
Well, what we are saying is that if people want to have all of this agitation, around, and it's not just in Belfast, I was in Portadown last night, then, that's what they're asking for. What they need to do is we all need to find compromise. We live in a city and we need to find a way of sharing it, and that's what we need to do.
But your compromise seems to be put the flag back up and leave it at that.
Well, the flag going back up is an argument about that we live in the region, which is in the United Kingdom, within the agreement, the principle of consent enshrined. Sinn Féin know fine well when they signed up for that was the case. Now, what Sinn Féin's trying to do is that they're trying to use the optics and the smoke and mirrors to tell their people that they didn't do that, they did it. And they need to realise that that's what they did, and they are in a region of the United Kingdom, and the standard of that country is the Union flag.
But it doesn't fly every day over other councils and other parts of the UK. So isn't this really about normalisation? Because I understand that the flag, when the flag designated days went up in Scotland because Gordon Brown didn't think people were flying the flag enough.
Well, I think what you'll find is that it does fly 365 days in some council areas in England, because I know some of the councils and I know they do it. So, but the question here isn't, and I think that this is the point that the media is missing. The media is not giving an analysis of this situation. What the media is doing is talking about what's going on. The reality is that Sinn Féin's position around the flag has turned everybody against the notion of why it shouldn't fly 365 days. So if Sinn Féin really wanted designated days, then that was about discussion. And what I'm saying to you is that the flag should have come after reconciliation. We have not dealt with the past. Sinn Féin put the cart before the horse.
But it just seems sometimes